Hey guys, you've joined us live at Moneycontrol. I'm Manisha Gupta and we're talking about agriculture right now. We do understand that it is the interim budget that would be put out on 1st of Feb, but the expectations are that there could be enhancement in sense of allocations when it comes to farm, technology and of course post-harvesting. Let's get all of that in detail, and joining us for that is Chattanathan D. He's co-founder Arya.ag. Thank you so much for joining us. And first of all, about your company itself, and last year was a lot about agri-techs and startups, and you've done quite well for yourself. The kind of linkages that you've done in sense of FPOs, states, banks, farmers, and the work you're doing. What's your sense on what could we see this budget when it comes to agri-tech?
Manisha, thanks for making me join this interview. And I think, with respect to this, I think it's an interim budget, so I don't foresee much of things happening because mostly it will be vote on account. But if you ask in terms of expectations, being in this sector, I think a lot of focus needs to be done with respect to agri-tech because we need to improve productivity, efficiency, and farm level incomes. So I feel that a lot of allocation should move towards agri-tech space. And coming back to our own segment, because we have an NBFC, there is a wish that lending to NBFCs who are lending to agriculture gets into priority sector. And third, in terms of post-harvest, the new technologies which are coming in, somehow we need to see how subsidies can be routed for the storage technologies which are there. For example, we do a lot of hermetic storage more near to the farm gate. And if this has to enhance, this should be treated at par with any other infrastructure which is there put in place, and capital subsidies should be allocated to that also.
How would you say on how the year 2023 has been for you in sense of linkages, in sense of the expansion and revenue for your work?
24 has been really good. 23 we ended pretty good. So we almost reached a top line of about 300 crores. We were probably the only profitable agri-tech company at scale, right? Because we were at scale. And this year, we hope to double the profit numbers. And I think the gross revenue should be anywhere between 450 to 500 crores, with a PAT somewhere crossing about 25 crores.
I mean, I've been reading your reports and it does suggest that you work with more than 20 banks. How has that experience been? Would you say that there's more skill, there's more openness now when it comes to agriculture as a space?
No, across spectrum, I think there is a lot of openness which is coming in, and people are believing that this is a space wherein they can make money like any other retail lending also. So the earlier scheme of things, priority sector was considered to be a pain because it was mostly linked to the obligation. But I see a lot of positivity emerging around the banks, and I at least myself visualize, and I've seen that some banks declaring this segment as one of the profitable segments. I do not want to name the bank, but I personally know that they have contributed almost 10% to the profit of the organization.
All right. Also, what commodities are you majorly focusing on, or what geographies are you focusing on as of now?
We are spread across because we have grown large, and one of the risk mitigation strategies which we have put in is to actually spread across geographies. Because the biggest risk in this business is seasonality, right? So at some particular point of time, if the seasons play heavier, concentrating in one geography doesn't really make us a viable business. So we are now across 400 districts, almost more than 21 states around. So we operate across all important grain commodities. We are not into fruits and vegetables. So as and when the season arrives in those respective commodities, we are there to do business.
We have
around we have put a platform. So the beauty of our business is that we are across the post-harvest spectrum. And right from digitizing the grain to giving access to finance to market, right? Now we have an integrated platform, Arya.ag. So that's the beauty which is there. 11,000 warehouses are listed on the platform. We operate on our own by around 3,000 warehouses which are there across the country.
I also want to get a sense on, how this year 2024 looks for you, because weather is a concern, of course. The other thing is the Red Sea. It's an election year as well. And then markets do anticipate that by the month of July is when we will see a proper budget as well. So how do you see yourself in the light of all of this?
See, as I said, enough and more scope is there. We are too little at this point of time in the context of the market which is available in the country. India being an agrarian economy still, right? So the scope is very wide. And the inefficiencies which are there in the spectrum actually gives a lot of opportunity for us in terms of tech interventions which are there. Since our budget is not approved by our board, I will not be in a position to talk about numbers. But broadly, you can take that our growth rates would be almost about 80-90% of what we would have done the current year.
All right, that looks like a good number, and all the best for achieving that. Mr. Chattanathan, thank you so much for joining us, making sense on what you do and, of course, what you're anticipating in this year as well. Well, that is, of course, about Agritech, a space which has been buzzing, and the expectations that you could be looking at something coming in for budget for them too.